All right, week 12, day 1. So this week I am doing maxes so that way I can have some videos of me actually exercising to present at the end. So I did my dynamic warm-up, and then today I tried cleans and back squat maxing. Did okay. I'll probably have to retest on back squats. Just know that my depth is not quite where I would want it to be. Cleans weren't too bad, but you know, it's always stuff to critique. As far as what we went over in course content today, we went over the hyperbaria or low pressure in high altitudes, as well as kind of like how environmental physiology was kind of like the birthplace of exercise science with Harvard Lab, and how they develop different things for like the military, like boots, trench coats, so on and so forth. Also, in kind of how like the military is one of the #1 like funders / providers in research for exercise physiology when it comes to stuff like that. So obviously the goal of high altitude is we need to acclimatize beforehand because the partial pressure of O2 is decreased. So when that low pressure and we're in those low pressure environments, it makes it a lot harder for us to inhale and get in as much oxygen as we would at like sea level. Therefore increasing the rate of fatigue, not getting as much like nutrient delivery to the muscle groups and the brain. So you have a variety of different things that you can suffer from when being in that low pressure environment. So one of the primary adaptations that we talked about too was that we want to increase hemoglobin. The more hemoglobin we have, the more binding sites we have for oxygen to bind to. So it will kind of get rid of some of the negative side effects of that low pressure environment. Trying to think what else I wanted to add into this. We also talked about how sickle cell anemia prevents some athletes to play in high altitudes because it already has one or two less binding sites than a traditional hemoglobin. So it already makes it harder for them to get oxygen delivery to their muscles and their working muscle fibers while in high altitudes or low pressure. I talked about the importance to need to acclimatize. Anaerobic athletes do not care as much as aerobic athletes because anaerobic athletes do not require as much of a reliance on oxygen as anaerobic athletes do. So football players would not be as affected as somebody who was running like track and field out there. Almost to the end of the semester, only got a couple more videos to do. I'm looking forward to it.